Hello everyone, greetings of the day. My name is Ritesh Khokhar. I am the founder and chief executive of Bridge Music Academy. In this video, I will be explaining the basics around how the theory of music lessons work at Bridge Music Academy. So this is an orientation video for anyone who is just joining the academy and is going to start the theory of music lessons with us. So let me first start by explaining the grade system and what are grades. Like we have classes in school, we have the pre-primary, then class 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to grade 12, class 12. Similarly, we have grades in music, and these grades are available both for practical and theory separately. The theory grades start at grade debut, followed by grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, so on and so forth, up to grade 8, right? So those are the grades. These are the international music exams available at each of these grade levels. So that is something that you can pursue. Let's get into why we learn the theory of music. So theory of music is going to help you break down the building blocks of music, help you understand how the music is kind of constructed. It is, in other words, the grammar of music that you will understand. So music is a language, and when you understand the grammar of music, you understand how the music is constructed, how it is built, how it is composed, and that will help you in multiple ways when you learn music. One, it will help you analyze the music, so you understand how the composer and why the composer is doing certain things in a piece of music. It will help you organize the music much better in your mind, which will help you learn the music much faster. It will also help you develop very good sight reading skills, because initially when we start reading music, we'll be reading alphabets like we do with any other language. But if you don't do the theory of music, you will not be able to get to a stage where you start reading the words and the phrases and sentences in music. So that is the grammar of music, which is really essential, we feel, and everybody has an option of taking up theory of music classes at Bridge Music Academy. What will be taught is basically, it is not the theory of keyboard or theory of guitar, it is the theory of music. And no matter which instrument you play, whether you're learning to sing or you're playing the keyboard or the guitar or drums, you will learn the theory of music for all these instruments. You will have the working knowledge of all of these instruments by the end of it. The theory books that we will be teaching will mostly be rock school theory books, because that is the contemporary music theory available with us. And it broadly has 4 sections in each book that you will be studying. The first section is a music notation section, where you learn to read and write music. Second is the popular music harmony section, where you learn how the scales and the chords are constructed from it. Third is the band knowledge section, where you learn about the different instruments, what are the different parts of a guitar or the anatomy of voice and things like that. And fourth section is band analysis, where you put all of these elements together and you even arrange music. So at a certain grade, you might be writing a bass line in the funk style, or writing a drum group for a reggae song, things like that. It's very interesting, it's very engaging theory, I believe. So the lessons are free at Bridge Music Academy, not the practical. The theory sessions are absolutely free of cost. These are held in a group of 10 to 12. And for Delhi and Gurgaon branches, these are completely online. And for the branches in other cities like Dimapur in Nagaland and Chandigarh, we have some offline classes as well. So these online classes will be held on the weekly basis over the weekends. On Saturdays and Sundays, we have multiple batches running. Since these are free, you're free to join more than one batch. So if you want to take 2 classes a week or something, you can do that. The exams become mandatory for all the students below the 16 years of age from grade 2 and above. So they will have an option of skipping the grade debut and grade 1 exam if they feel like. But grade 2 and above will be a mandatory exam for everyone who is below the age of 16. For the older students, you may just consult with your teacher. We highly recommend that you take these exams if you really want to really gain a thorough knowledge of the subject. We would highly recommend the exams, but you may just discuss with your teacher in case you are not really interested in that. Why the exams are mandatory, let me also explain that the learning takes place in 3 steps. The first one is called the planning phase, where we look at the profile of the student, the age, the learning background and all of those things. And then the second stage is the delivery. So we plan what needs to be taught, then we teach that in the theory classes. And the third stage is the evidence of learning, which is a really important piece of the puzzle for the teachers. When you take a theory exam, you will essentially go through some extra sample papers, revise your knowledge, be more thorough with everything that you learned at that particular grade level, and then you take the exam. And the assessment that we get from the examiners is a very important evidence of learning for the teachers, where we know that you have learned and grasped the concepts at the right level and that you're ready to move to the next grade level. So that is the reason why we made the exams mandatory. The exams can happen in physical format twice in a year, but digital exams, the completely online theory exams, are available on monthly basis, so you don't have to wait for an exam too long. If you're finishing a particular grade, by the time you go through the sample papers and brush up your knowledge, you will have a exam date just around the corner. These exams are online, but they are remotely invigilated, so it will be a proper exam. Nobody else will be allowed in the room but the candidate, and this exam can range from 60 minutes to 180 minutes depending on the grade level that you are at. The level 1 book is available. This is a book that we have published. The Bridge Music Academy has published this book. This is the absolute, the first steps in the theory of music, and this is something that sits below the debut grade. So this is practically the first book that you will be working on in case you have had no formal training in music before joining us. So this book will be available in hard copy for the offline students and will be mailed to you in PDF format for the online students who are not in the same city. So you can print out those books. This is only 20 pages, and you can work on those sheets and submit your work for checking. The learning resources that you will be provided while you're learning through these online and offline classes are going to be the support videos. I did a series of webinars covering everything from grade debut to grade 8, which was for the teachers actually. So these videos will be shared with you, so you can take some reference from that. Just use it as a study resource. Plus there will be guidebooks available alongside the workbooks that you can purchase from the market. So these books are available on Amazon.in, and we don't believe in plagiarism or the piracy of music. So we highly recommend that you purchase the original copies of the books from Amazon.in or from the music shop near your location. Classes will also be having students of mixed levels. So there will be some students at maybe a grade 2 level, somebody at a grade debut level, somebody at a grade 3 level. We do separate these levels broadly. So grade 4 and above will be in a separate batch, and grade 6 and above will be in a separate batch. But invariably you will be in a batch where somebody is little ahead of you in theory and somebody is slightly behind you. So in the class, please feel free to ask your doubts, and don't worry if another student is too ahead or behind you in a class. You need to focus on what you need to ask from the teacher. In case the teacher is going to explain something that is generic and relevant to everybody in the class, he will announce that in the class, please everyone pay attention, I'm going to explain something that is relevant to everybody in the class. The work that you do on the workbook, obviously you'll be using a paper pencil or a pen or something like that. If you're using digital formats, that's absolutely fine. You can work it on the iPad with a digital pencil or something. You can do that and send us the PDFs. But in case you're working on a hard copy, and that is typically the case, that students typically will be writing with pen or pencil, you will need to scan your work into a single PDF file and send it to us for checking by Friday evening. 5 p.m. is the cutoff, I feel. So if you get your work by 5 p.m., we will be able to check it on Friday evening or Saturday morning and send it back to you on your email before your class on Saturday evening. So there are multiple batches running on Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday evening. So you can pick and choose the time that works for you. But that work has to reach us by Friday evening, 5 p.m. To scan your work, you may use apps like the Genius Scan, Tap Scanner, Cam Scanner, or Adobe Scan, or any other app on the same format available on the Google Store or the iOS Store. So you can just use any of these apps and compile your work into a single PDF file. You will need to send your work to theory@bridgemusic.in email ID. That is theory@bridgemusic.in. theory@bridgemusic.in. If you're not a beginner and at the theory of music and have studied formally before this, maybe you have completed some grade levels before this, please contact our office and ask for an interaction with one of our faculty members who will judge your standard and start you at an appropriate level. Lastly, I would like to say that although we are mostly following the rock school theory because that is the contemporary music, majority of the students are learning that form of music, so we are following that theory. But for students who are learning the classical music theory, There is an option available to learn the Trinity College of Music theory and the Associated Board of Royal Schools of Music, ABRSM. So you have an option of using either the Trinity College London theory or ABRSM theory as well. Just ask our office that you would like to pursue one of these boards, and they will put you in an appropriate patch with the faculty who teaches those theories as well. So that is all we needed to cover for the orientation. I hope that was useful information for all of you. Happy learning. Take care.